Hello, you guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like John's not in for some reason.
Hmm.
Can I call him again? Calling Mr. John.
Yes. You know you're there.
Come on, Bubba.
Who is it?
Knock, knock. Housekeeping.
For the love of God, I'm trying to sleep.
No, that would be Phil. You're confusing your people.
All right, and then there were three. Hopefully Phil will wake up at some point. We'll jump in here. So no Rohir, no David, and currently no Phil.
Yes, because sleeping.
So...
wait. I think I see him
wait,
on the
wait.
horizon.
What is that? Is that a Phil coming up from the depths of the ocean? Let's try him again. And a call. Oh, is that Phil? Maybe?
Could it be?
Howdy.
Hey!
Hey.
Ah, whew.
Well, you got a half an hour extra sleep. That's good.
Oh, not what I expected.
That's all right. We were just sort of hanging out, chatting in the chat box, so not a big deal.
So we just crashed into a ship full of doom. So
Yeah. It's an interesting start to the day.
yes.
Oh yeah, I thought it was great. I was like, wait, there's nobody in the pilot chair. It's gonna hit. All right, and everyone's like, yeah, let's talk about this other stuff. It's like, all right, I guess you guys hit into the ship. But like you said, Alex, that was kind of like shock syndrome. You know, you guys just,
We just came out of killing things, and we got ready to go into piloting away from doom.
Well, you guys had just, had that whole concept of humanity being the only intelligent species in the galaxy oh, wait. There's other horrible things out there,
And they're trying to kill us.
Lose 2d6 sanity,
Yes. And almost getting killed, kind of, and several of us getting stabbed, kind of, distracts as well.
Near death, that usually slows you down.
Yeah.
Being set on fire, that's not usually something I like.
Melted hands.
Yeah, my hands.
So today we have then two characters that need to be played, and I wasn't sure if we wanted to have the same two players play two characters, or we want to have maybe the Alexes do something a little different today. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind letting someone else play.
Yeah. Same here.
Either way.
I think somebody else should do Kazuko, because if I was both of the captains, that would be kind of odd. So, if you want me to take someone, I'll take the Doc. But even then, the Doc and I have a lot of... He's the main one that I argue with, because I'm it's the Spock-McCoy argument, except extreme, because I'm not just logic, I'm sociopathic logic. So, that also seems kind of awkward.
Well, I just would try to spread the responsibility.
Yeah, it's good. It's just both and if it were Theo or somebody else, maybe I would try. But with both of them being kind of connected to me, one by being my co-captain and one by being the guy I always argue with, it seems like it would lead to a lot of role playing with myself, which would be both boring for me as well as everyone else would. So.
Oh, I thought it was kind of fun when Phil did that last time.
Yeah.
So how about we'll just do this then? We'll give the other two guys a little break. We'll have Alikov do the Doc and Captain, and Alex, if you're okay playing Kazuko today. Does that sound fun?
Sure, sounds good.
Okay, sounds cool. Is there anything that anybody wants to talk about before we start, or are we all good?
No, I think we had enough of that waiting for us. So.
Okay. All right, so to set the scene, you guys have just crashed into the Aeschylus. You have an alien vessel that's twice the size of yours smashed into the side in the barracks area of the ship. You have two dead aliens that are on top of each other, piled on top of the four-wheel drive vehicle that's in the lowest level of the ship. Theo had been stabbed through the chest. The Longbeard had his hands melted off and was fricasseed a little bit. The doctor has been sort of taking care of things as best he can, healing up some of the injuries. And I believe that's pretty much where we're all at this point. So I think pretty much everyone will start the session today in the med lab or around the med lab, because I think that's where pretty much everybody was.
I think when we stopped, I think Alex and I were up on the bridge. I was actually stopping the ship. Remember, he wanted to start shooting the guns.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I was like, no, don't shoot the guns. Then we were turning the engines off and trying to slightly back up, I think was when we stopped.
Yeah, I think the engines you guys had just stopped the engines.
Stop the engines, so.
So the Aeschylus is still spinning. It's just, you're not adding to it anymore. All right, well, why don't we do the cockpit then? We have the captain and Longbeard, and you guys can obviously talk through intercoms and things.
Yes. Well, I have no idea what to do. We can either charge into where the aliens are, try and go catch them from behind or something if we're ready to do that. Or we can keep trying to back up and get out of here.
You can see Longbeard just is extremely fast, just hitting all the buttons and trying to gain control of the ship. Like he's piloted for almost his whole life. He's almost a natural at it. And he starts to back the ship up ever so slightly, and there's creaking, crunching sounds. And then the whole hull and the ship shakes. And he's like, "Oh, we're stuck. We can't pull out." But I don't want to damage the ship more by yanking us. We already have almost 30% hull integrity. I don't really think it's going to last.
You'll see on the monitors that Fred and Melba, the bots outside, are starting to fix things. They're moving around to the various damaged locations. They seem like they have their work cut out for them.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to take a new ship then.
Okay.
We're in one that currently has a war going on. We might as well just chip in on the right side and take over their ship. Well, okay, we may not commandeer the Gonjan ship after we kill these guys, but if they don't at least help us get our ship repaired and out of here, then they're ungrateful assholes, so.
Lights are still going off showing that we're venting air still, so we have to fix that. It should be first priority.
Yeah.
As you guys are in the cockpit, you see that the sensor readings are doing that strange thing again. The last time you had looked, there were 20 human signatures and 5 alien ones. The people start to pop up again. There's 30, then 33, then 41, and then they're back up to 42 again.
Oh, great. So they're making zombies again.
You're not sure?
Well, what were they doing? You said the sensors had done this before. Is that what happened last time?
Last time they had gone all the way down to, I think, 20 was the lowest reading.
Oh, so I thought that happened when they boarded our ship. I didn't realize we'd just been looking at theirs, so we wouldn't know. Okay.
Yeah, one of the sensors has been pointed at the Aeschylus, just keeping tabs on it. I think Bryce had set that up before.
Yeah, and we've been seeing this. Okay. Oh, we have to... Sure. Whoever wants to fix the air thing can fix that.
I'm already on it, Captain.
Good. And then everybody else who isn't Theo or needed for something else, since I assume he's still recuperating, can come help see what the hell's going on this ship, because we need to get rid of these guys. And I want to figure out what the heck is happening with the humans. Why do they keep coming back to life?
Longbeard kind of frowns, and then he just goes through all the panels, and he starts shutting down all the non-essential systems, including the engines, trying to put all the power into life support.
Ooh.
And then once that's done, I guess he's gonna head down into with the doctor and Kazuko, where everyone else is down in the bay.
Okay, at this point, Kazuko is coming back towards the door that Bryce is repairing, and says, "Is this the tool you were looking for, Bryce?" And it's not. It'll do. It's fine. So Bryce picks up this plasma welder, which is rated a little too hot for what he was hoping to do, and just sort of leans back as he takes this chunk of steel and starts kind of melting it over the door as though he's dripping wax across a page. And you see in places it's just getting sucked in and cooling rapidly to seal gaps that we're venting air through.
Doesn't take long before the seal has closed up.
I think this will hold, guys. I'm not 100%. When Theo's feeling better, it'll be good to get a second opinion. So, does it look like we're venting air?
No, it's completely sealed now.
All right. It's looking good, folks.
Longbear comes down, he sees you finishing up that, and he checks it out, and he says, "Oh, looks like you sealed it pretty good. No more air leaking, at least. Now priorities. What's next?"
Taking the ship. It's kind of been my thing, and trumpeting the whole time.
How do we get over?
Yeah. Either come down or I'll get on the PA thing, and anybody who is not tending to other duties can come and form a boarding party to take this ship, which, after all, was what we were planning to do in the first place. And then I head down to the airlock or wherever the door would be that we would go through and wait for people to show up.
Well, if you look at the map, there is a door lock, or there is an airlock that you can't get to that's past the barracks. There is one, however, right behind the cockpit.
Alright, so I just walk into that and wait for people to show up.
Longbear looks at Bryce and raises an eyebrow. A hairless eyebrow. So, I guess that's us.
I can only suppose.
Longbear heads over to the medical area, since it's right in the same area. I mean, looks at Theo, and is he totally out cold, unconscious, or?
I think so.
You did ask to have some
Yeah.
anesthesia, I guess.
Yeah, and the doc put me under but I don't know how long it would last.
Alright. Well, I look up to the doctor and said, "This may be a time, doctor, where you might want to hand out some of those stims that you made me put back."
Yeah. Yes, well, I'm not sure how I feel about sending my patients directly back into the line of fire. They've just been stabbed, but yeah, okay. I can, if you really want me to, I can do this.
Well, it's what the captain is ordering.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, well, I could pass it off. I could say he needs more recovery, which he does. I mean, it's not, I don't know how my powers work or how well they work. I don't want to put this much stress on a serious injury, and not to mention the metabolic stress of anesthesia combined with stims, which is not a thing you're supposed to be doing. So, I have a logical medical argument to make that he should not be part of this boarding party.
Everyone gets that strange tingling sensation again that starts at the back of your skull and sort of goes down your spinal column.
Yes. Well, if he's gonna be messed with by weird rift stuff, I don't know.
Longbeard gets this strange sensation where it's almost as if there's a bright light right in front of his face that momentarily blinds you. You just see this bright white light, and then it's gone.
Defensively, Longbeard puts his hands up like to block the light, and then he's like, "What, Doctor? Did you see that?
What? No, I felt weird, but I didn't see anything.
You didn't see the bright light?
No, I saw nothing.
Bryce, you get this strange pinching sensation on your left forearm.
Doctor, I'm experiencing something strange myself. But I wasn't in combat. I'm not certain how this happened. I seem to have pinched a nerve or something on my arm.
Well, look at it then. And he scans over you with the bioscanner and tugs at your arm and pinches random places. Nothing appears to be wrong, unless something would be.
No, it doesn't seem like that's the case. Can't find anything wrong.
This is unnerving. How far are we from the rift?
It's about 14 hours of travel time.
Using the comms, Longbeard to Captain.
Yes?
Captain, are you experiencing anything strange? Physically?
I assume I would be. Yes, I mean, I felt the tingling that we've had repeatedly now.
The spine tingling? Like someone
Yes.
got for you?
Yes.
Phil, Thea wakes up screaming.
Jesus Christ. You reach out, pushing him down, but he's starting to sit up. You're okay, man. You're okay.
Theo feels cold hands on his body.
God damn it.
He'll just start touching places on himself, going, what the...
And then the sensation fades.
You're okay, Theo. You're in the med bay.
I had the worst nightmare. I thought I was stabbed by this giant thing. Oh, jeez. It was terrible.
Nightmare, did the ship crash?
Oh, no, everything was fine. We were doing fine. And then there was the shaking, and then these creatures, they were huge. 4 legs, their bodies on fire. You twisted one of their heads off. So. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Alright, so some of that's real, Theo.
What?
Just some of that.
Oh, my.
And the ship crashed into the other ship. We didn't stop it in time. So, if you're feeling up to it, we could use your help.
Theo just slams his back of his head against the bed and goes, I was really hoping that was the drugs.
The captain at this point has an intense pain behind his left eye.
Ow! Just like grab that part of my head and like clutch it and double over and scream.
Is his comms open? Do we hear?
Okay, sure, they can be.
Oh, Captain, are you okay?
Something happened with my eye, and it felt like it was exploding. I have no idea what that means, but it's not good.
Are you bleeding, or is your vision blurred?
well, I can't see very well given that there's so much pain in that area. I don't see any blood.
Perhaps before we leave on your mission, we should be checked out in the med bay real quick. All of us.
Yes. Okay. Yes. I come like limping to the med bay, still clutching my head, and the doctor will scan over everyone, and no, there appears to be nothing wrong, unless it would show up on a bioscanner. I don't know how the RIT stuff works with medical equipment, but
Well, the doctor starts to look, and he doesn't see any. If you point out that your eye and
or various other parts of people's bodies that they've seen weird stuff.
Nothing really shows up. While this is happening, Kazuko feels like he has something metallic in his mouth, but when he tries to, put his fingers in there or anything, there's nothing there.
Guys, I'm not sure. I've got something with my tongue.
Okay.
I don't know if you need to pull it, Doctor. It's probably a scan would be fine. And
then you all get that strange tingling sensation again.
Yeah.
This time it's from the base of your spine to your head.
There's no pain though, right? It's just a tingling sensation.
Yeah, it's just that feeling like someone's walking over your grave, that sort of thing.
I wonder if these are the effects of the rift.
Longbeard holds up his fingers, and you see like blue lightning kind of shoots between his fingers. Besides this,
They'll rise up out of the bed, and as he does so, he'll kind of go cross-sided when you do that, and shake his head back. Is the other ship? Is there any radiation coming out of the other ship?
I don't know.
I've been running scans and haven't really detected anything of that kind.
There's no radiation that I can see. Are you all feeling well?
We're alive. That's a plus.
Yes, you haven't died yet. That's good.
Right. Well, I'm going to head back to the workshop. I want to get those little drones of mine to work. This will be their first test. Theo will try to straighten himself up as he does. So he'll feel a little strained and slightly lean over and start, walking slowly out of there.
Kazuko approaches and says, "Do you need a hand there, Theo?" And tries to support him.
No, I'm okay. I just I could do this.
Well, all right. Just let us know if you need anything.
Nodding his head, he'll just barrel on down. And from there, when he gets to the workshop, he'll take the little drones and he'll start to have them scanned in the replicator and have them just be replicated from there. And he'll make about 6 of them for a total of 8 that he has.
It probably takes about 2 minutes for each one.
Okay. So he'll be doing that in the meantime.
Beep.
Captain, you're sure that our best course of action is to just put on EV suits and cross over to the other ship?
It's a course of action, and it's the one where we get to maybe save the ship, which was our initial mission. It's not one I'm happy with. I just don't see... we can't get out. That was my other option. And if we can't get out, we need to make sure that the alien guys don't just find us and kill us. So better to have surprise on them. But this is not a good tactical situation in any way, so I'm not really seriously advocating it, except as our only option.
Captain, if you leave, do you have any orders for me? Any last orders?
Don't let alien take the ship, maybe? I mean, that's...
Okay, guys, I gotta take a little break here. Feel free to keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, just don't let the aliens take the ship unless, if they seriously look like they're going to take it, you can just try and shoot them. But don't blow it up recklessly either, because we might just be late. Alright, and then I'll just pretend unanswered that and move on with whatever else.
Theo will then get on the intercom. And,
Yes.
Have we managed to lodge ourselves free from the other ship?
No, we're stuck.
Yeah, I tried, Theo, but some of the superstructure from the larger ship is penetrating part of our ship, and I think it'll come off.
Oh boy.
Maybe you can get your 2 bots outside to start cutting pieces free, maybe.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Alright. In the meantime, I'm going to have my little drones rocking about here, so just don't mind them. I've already given them programs to go ahead and start repairing the ship.
Okay.
Alright, little babies, do your magic. Setting them down, he'll program them each, and they'll be off scuttling about. He'll then make his way to the airlock and begin putting on the EV suits.
Another problem with leaving the ship here is that nobody else knows about these things, and if they take this ship, which it seems like they're wanting to do, they can then fly into Gonjan space or whatever space and not be noticed and do who knows what, take other ships, attack planets, whatever.
Our readings say there are only 5 of them left, so we...
Well, yeah, that's assuming that the guys, the humans who have come back to life aren't now on their side, which since they've come back to life, or whatever, looks like they might have come back to life, might not be beyond the pale.
Is it possible for us to send out a signal, an SOS, in the name of that ship? Just send it.
I mean, they already sent one out that we found, so if I guess we could go back further into normal space and try to send another one to make sure it gets received, but that would be going off our mission. So I'm not really sure what to do. I'm kind of confused by the fact that, there's giant aliens of doom that hate us and are trying to attack us.
Well, if we're going to board the ship, then I recommend everyone putting on their stealth suits underneath their evac suits.
Yeah.
Actually, Theo will chime in now and he'll say, I have a suggestion to make.
Yes?
When we do board the ship, well, I kind of thought that when we were fighting those things on board, I realized that when I was using the freezer canisters on them, they didn't like that at all. And I'm guessing these guys don't like the cold that much. We could get to the environmental controls and lower them to a degree where that part of the ship becomes almost uninhabitable for them.
Yes, that is good. Let's do that.
All right. But the only trick is that I'll have to locate where it is.
Okay, well, can we scan?
Would Bryce be able to find schematics? He's good at that type of stuff.
Schematics of the ship?
Yeah.
Well, we've been running scans of it for quite some time, so there's a fairly detailed look at it already. I can put it on the screen. He does so.
Okay, well, while Theo...
So you guys look at the scans. Sorry. Like I said, it's a very massive ship of 4 levels. It seems that the top level seems like more of a command level. It also has a sort of air dock as well. And the rest of the levels just continue to go down. There's a round front section. There's a round front section and a long neck and then a sort of an oval body at the back. And that sort of expands as it goes lower. At the lowest levels, there's these 2 side areas of rockets and the propulsion systems. It seems like that level also has the escape pods.
So these are the scans that our ship has been taking, right?
Yeah, it's sort of looked inside the various locations. I mean, they're not labeled as far as what rooms are what, but you can kind of guess.
Is it possible, Bryce, would it be possible for you to get the actual schematics by using the verse or the ship itself, hacking into the ship?
I may be close enough. I'm not sure whether they have a wireless network that has access to that, but I'll take it a look.
Theo chimes in and goes, "Hey, we're as close as we're gonna get."
You can give me
not according to the captain.
You can give me a roll if you want.
Okay.
Try to hack into it.
Yep.
I encourage Bryce. So he gets 3 dice.
Pardon?
This one will. I'm actually gonna encourage you with my Gungeon Village. You can do it, man.
Oh, very nice.
Encourage you to get this information for us.
Alright, so that's at least 3 successes. Yeah, 3 successes.
Alright, you have a detailed schematic of the ship. I probably should have posted these online before we played. But, oh well. Yeah, so like I said, the top level is like the command level. There looks like there's a shuttle bay, a shuttle, there's a lift elevator, a command center, and sort of like a view screen to see what's in front of the ship. On the second level, there is a machine shop, a cargo hull, a lift elevator, first mate's quarters, captain's quarters, living quarters, a galley, a kitchen, a common area. So that's like the upper deck. The middle deck, this thing's pretty big. There's engineering, another cargo hull, lift elevator, escape pods, living quarters, some sort of energy weapon. Those are the 2 massive cannons that you saw. Sick bay, life support, conference room, the engine, and 2 nuclear power systems. And on the lowest level, there's engineering, another cargo hull, another lift elevator, an airlock, retractable ramp, living quarters, hydroponics, another part of the drive, and more of the nuclear fuel. So it's a pretty substantially large ship.
So it looks like there's no true environmental system. It must be part of the engineering.
Yeah, you would think that it would probably be in the engineering section.
So
that would be
which of the engineering is closest to an airlock? I guess would be the one that I would want to go into.
The lower deck has one. Yeah, it looks like the lower deck is the one that would be the best option then.
Where did we hit?
You guys are impaled in the upper deck.
Is that where the creatures were?
The creatures were on the second level, and the humans were on the third level.
Ah, okay.
But the creatures had gone up to the second, the upper deck, I guess. So you think that the level that you guys crashed into, has the Quay, the aliens in there.
Can we tell whether we've breached enough of the hull that it's venting?
You think that the cargo hull area towards the back of the ship is where you crashed into it, and you think that that level of the cargo hull is vented out to space. There's no oxygen there, but it has several doors. Looks like it's isolated, so it's not expanding throughout the ship or anything.
Can we make a mental path if we enter from the airlock closest to the engineering, where we don't have to, because we don't know if we don't know how the power is going to be in the ship, so I don't want to be on an elevator or any type of lift. Is there a way with ladders or other things?
Well, with the scanners, you can tell that the power is on the whole ship. There's lights, and it seems like all the systems are working.
So, a short quarter-mile space hike to the to the airlock, and then another 150 feet.
You think if you can somehow get through your ship and into the cargo bay, that elevator should take you all the way down to the lowest level, or you can try to go outside and climb on the outside of the ship. The airlock is on the lowest level, and it is sort of in the middle of the ship. So picture, it's not a Star Trek ship, but it does have like a frontish area with a long neck, and then like the main body of the ship. And you guys have crashed into the main body of the ship on the uppermost level, or it's the upper level below the command level, so the second level. If that makes any sense.
All right. Well, I recommend we try to go in where we are here, in the front of the ship. Hopefully the robots have cleared a big enough area for us to pass through, and then take the elevator down.
Do I see Fred and Thumb out there?
Fred and Melba, yeah.
Melba. Melba, sorry.
Sorry, it's easy to mix up. They are trying to repair some of the damage to the front of the ship right now.
Okay, so they're already on it. I go and I expect the wedge and how far in we are. How does that look?
You think that half of your lounge is through the ship into the cargo hull.
Ooh. Okay, well, I'll take my data pad out and I'll head up to Fred and Melba, and I'll input the instructions to start unwedging the ship. And the instructions I'll give specifically is to, let's see, what would be the most efficient? Oh, okay, this is good. To start cutting off pieces of the other ship that we are wedged in like little, small, like a tiny ring all the way around. That way, that part becomes loose. And then afterwards, all we'll need to do is just use a few thruster bursts to just unlike gravity do the rest, as we just kind of, push ourselves apart.
Okay, sort of like cut into the ship that you're stuck in. Okay.
Yeah, just make like a little ring. That way, it will a circumference around the actual shape of the vessel that has been lodged in, and then afterwards push it free, and then cut that bit off of it. I think that would be a lot easier to do, and least damaging.
And you know that you're going to have to go out there with your little data pad and give them a little hybrid binary language.
Yep. And as I do so, I make my unwary footsteps. And I hand them the data pad, and I don't hand them the data pad, but I get the data pad and I start inputting the instructions to the binary code.
Okay, they'll flash, and their heavy boots will move up and down a little bit, and then they'll move into position. And start to, little wiry arm will come out, and a blaster will start to burn away some of the debris. But there's no sound, sorry. It looks like it's going to take it some time to do that, though.
Okay, and I'll go ahead and I'll chime back in. Captain, I'm underway to get this ship lodged. I've got the 2 bots outside, and they're going to cut a circumference around the area of the ship that has been lodged in. When we do this, that should create enough of a space for us to use the forward thrusters to back ourselves out. I'll give you the signal when we're ready. But it should be a while, though.
Good. Then that actually might be... So, does anyone have objections to my initial idea of we shoot the part of the ship the aliens are in, let it be vented out? It seems better than sending ourselves in a suicidal boarding party. But if you think that it would be safer to try Long's idea of going to the environmental controls, we can do that. We'll just need to do it before we back the ship out. So, now
the tricky part about that... The tricky part about that, Captain, is that they're only 1 floor above the people we're trying to save.
Yes, that is a problem.
Not to mention, we don't know how far. Wait, how far in are they?
You mean like where the people at on the schematics? Like where the heat signature is coming from?
I mean, like the quay. How far in the ship? Because if they're on the outermost edge, that plan would be applicable. But if they're very much deep inside, we'd have to blast severely into the ship.
All right. As you look at the scanners and you're looking at the upper deck, that's the level below the command level. You're going to see that they're in the front portion of the ship. They are in areas that are considered like living quarters. It seems like they have barricaded themselves off in there. You think that possibly you could do some damage to that area of the ship? You would have to try. But like I said previously, the hull is very thick. It it seems like it could withstand a good amount of damage, but it's not impervious. And,
we don't know if
sorry.
we don't know if there's any survivors in there either, is there? Because their heat signature could be overpowering theirs.
Oh yeah, that too. So yeah, let's
we
just
can't
go with the
risk
other
that
plan.
loss of life.
Yeah, currently there are 42 heat signatures that you can.
Right.
What was
Is it
that?
possible you've already hacked into
Your
the
audio
ship?
really
Can
slowed
you
down
see their
when you said that.
ship?
Sorry, we all sort of talked over each other there.
Yeah, there was some lag, I think.
Yeah, I've been getting some serious interference.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
So Longbeard turns and says, "You're already hacked into the ship. Can you pull up their monitors on our monitors so we can see everything that's in the ship?"
I'll take a look. Would that take any extra work, or should it just be something that happens?
I'm sorry, what was that again? You're going to do what exactly?
We're going to hack into their surveillance systems and pull up everything that we can.
Okay, that's a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
How about a 3 dice penalty? That's
Sure.
you could probably do it.
Is Long encouraging me?
I will encourage you.
Wonderful.
Since it was his idea, yeah.
If you guys look down in the chat, there's a link for all the images for the ship.
1 success.
Okay, it takes some time. It's probably going to take about 15 minutes, but you think that eventually you're going to get all the information. Are you okay, Alkov?
Yeah.
Sound like you're getting beat up.
What? No. Weird.
Yeah, so all the layout for the ship, the Aeschylus, is in a thread on the forum there. I'll put a link down below so you guys can have a pretty good idea of what it looks like. There's the command level, an upper level, middle level, and lowest level.
Excellent. Thank you.
So you guys probably need a few moments to look at this.
We're all looking at the schematic probably, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a lot different than what I was expecting. I thought it would look like the way you were describing. I was kind of picturing one of the more longer, narrower looking ship. This one has a cool design to it. But
The engineering is huge too. It's tall. It's not like I was thinking it was two separate engineering bays, but it's one giant 2-story or 3-story building. I mean, engine. If you look at it.
Well, it still seems like your plan is the best of the ones we have. We can't really risk just blowing a hole in the ship.
I have a slight concern that hopefully shouldn't be a problem, but what happens if they decide to kick their engines and we're still embedded in the cargo hull right above them?
Probably not something good, but why would they decide to do that?
We'll try.
well, I don't think anything bad's going to happen if that does occur. In fact, it would be a worse situation is if we're dislodging and they do kick on. From there, our ship will then hit theirs because we'll no longer be exactly connected with them. But I don't think the damage should be that great. I mean, being lodged into them and they do take off, we'll be within their field.
Right, I'm just recalling the lock that we put the Earther ship in.
Oh, I don't think that will occur. Their ship is so much larger than ours. Their gravitational field would just overwhelm us. I don't think that we will actually be locked into a gravity lock with them.
Good. Thank you, Theo.
As you look at the scanners, it seems that both the alien heat signatures and the human heat signatures are pretty much staying where they are.
Like, are they moving at all? Can we tell that they're still conscious?
Yeah, you see, there's definitely movement, but not like they're not leaving the room that they're in or the area that they're in. They're moving amongst themselves. Yeah, it seems like they're not stationary.
Captain, I left something in the crew quarters that I'd like to see if whether it's still there before we head in. Would it be a problem if I were to exit the dorsal bay now and, both survey how things are going out there and see if I can retrieve it?
No, but you can do that.
Thank you. Bryce heads out to the top of the ship and starts making his way towards the damaged crew quarters area.
What's interesting about being on the outside of the ship is, unlike before where the rift was just off in the distance and just, you guys were slowly moving towards it, now it's, because you and the large vessel are attached and spinning, you just see the rift just like revolving. Oh, you're spinning, so it looks like the rift is moving. Obviously it's not. But, you'll see it come up and go over your head and then go under the ship, and then up and then over your head and then under the ship. It's kind of disorienting, and, you feel like you're on some sort of strange carnival ride out in space.
Bryce just tries to keep his eyes trained to the hull.
Theo's still a little dizzy from his previous experience. Will look up at it and go, oh, that was a close one. Oh. Okay, look down at the ship, Theo. Look down at the ship. And they'll begin back to the airlock.
Yeah, I guess I should have described that last time. But yeah, Theo's seeing the same thing. Sorry.
That's all right. Captain, I'm going to continue making some repairs on Genu.
Okay, good. He could be useful.
Oh, he's going to be more than useful when I'm done with him.
We can do another extended roll for Genu. He's going to need about, let's try and set this too high this time, 12 successes. And
12 successes.
Every roll will be, we'll say, 15 minutes.
Alright.
Well, Theo, do you need help, or would you like help with that? While I'm still waiting for this information.
Actually, yes. Yes, I would. If you don't mind, sir. When you see him, Theo will already be out of his EV suit, and he'll be standing over top of the well, not over top, but he'll be standing, looking up at Genu, stroking his chin. I have a few modifications that I'd like to make here to him.
Okay. Just tell me what you want me to do, and I'll try to assist the best I can.
Alright, well, with his left arm, I'd like to replace that with a canister holder, and I would like him to be able to shoot out the coolant out of his arm, but this time we want to adjust the nozzle to be much more concentrated and with much greater distance in mind.
Excellent idea.
And let's try to, and he'll grab his right arm, let's try to get this one to have a little bit more blunt punch to it. Alright, so I got 3 successes on my first roll.
Yeah, so really just roll as many times as you need, but each time is another 15 minutes. And so yeah, it'll be your roll and Longbeer's roll each, for.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you guys can just pile up your successes and.
Oh wow! Well, my second my second time that I rolled now, it's 5 successes.
Okay, so let's see what Longbeer rolled. You might be able to fix it in half an hour.
All right. My first was 2, and my second is 4.
So what's that all add up to?
6 for me, and then whatever.
8 for me. So that's
It's 14.
Okay, that's fine. In half an hour's time, you both working together have fixed the bot.
Wow. That was way easier than I thought it was going to be.
Okay, so I will just wait for you impatiently, since it's going so fast. Yeah.
Well, the monitors should be up, right?
Yeah, so I'm just pacing back and forth watching you do a lot of mechanical stuff that I don't understand.
While they're fixing things, what's everyone else doing? Other than the captain pacing.
Well, Bryce is outside, right? And they're trying to get in through quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why don't we deal with Bryce then? That works.
Okay. Bryce is first going to check to see what the condition of the power regulator they obviously narrowly missed is in the crew quarters area.
Okay. You finally get your way in. There was a small part of the hull that was cracked beside the alien vessel where it rammed. So you squeezed yourself in there, open up the panel. The power regulator seems fine.
Okay. And then he's going to get to the business he was most intent on working on. Is how are his actual quarters?
That's a good question. Which side of the ship?
He was on, well, if you're looking at the diagram, it's the right, lower right, I think, was what I was thinking.
Okay, yeah, that's the side of the ship that got smashed.
Beautiful.
So your stuff is probably all shoved forward in the middle of the barracks area. You know, it's all just crumpled and smashed, and yeah.
Okay.
But
he had a
describe
drawer under his bed that he kept his rifle, and he's basically trying to see if he can retrieve that. It has sentimental value.
So I'll let you decide. Do you think you can find it, or do you think it's ruined? That's up to you.
I think that he, after a little bit of prying and use of the plasma welder he'd been using before, he manages to find it, but it's been, the barrel's basically bent in half. And so he'll bring it back kind of surreptitiously, and see if he can deal with it later. For now, he's just going to store it in the armory. So he clunks on over to the dorsal bay again, and slips inside without. Well, obviously after checking to see if anyone else is in the dorsal bay, so that he doesn't vent them into space. But yeah, he's just going to slip back and see if he can store that in a cupboard somewhere.
All right before you get back into the ship, something just bizarre happens again. This time you can't control your left leg at all. It just completely goes limp. It doesn't respond to any of your commands to have it move.
Okay. Do we still have comms? I know that Long shut down non-essential systems.
Comms are active.
Okay. Alright, that's good. Is anyone else experiencing more symptoms? I can't move my leg. I don't have anything pinning me. I can't move my leg. He's gonna try and drag it, but I'm not sure he'll be able to with the grav, or the soft mags.
If the rest of your body starts to pull it, yeah, the soft mag will detach.
Okay.
And it's just limp and just floating in weightlessness.
Well, I guess the weightlessness is actually advantageous at this point.
Except you can't hop.
Pardon?
Don't hop.
Yeah, okay. That's a good suggestion. Thank you. I was about to be completely doomed.
Well, it's good that E-suits come with mag gloves as well. Soft mag gloves.
That is helpful. Alright, so he'll sort of crawl his way to the
Right, so what was you were breaking up. We couldn't hear you. Are you okay?
Just clear the dorsal bay. If cameras are still active, he'll check those before he opens it, and just sort of lands himself inside and closes it again.
When you're safely inside the ship, the feeling comes back to your leg.
That's strange. I'm fine now, but while I was outside, my left leg just completely locked up.
Like a cramp, a leg cramp, or?
No, I didn't have any control over it.
Should probably go see the doc.
I suppose, but if it's anything like everything else, there won't be a sign of it.
What did the ship look like, Bryce? the alien vessel when you were over there?
It's got this sheen to it that I'm still not sure what it's made of, but it's kind of beautiful.
Theo will then kind of smack the side of his head a little bit and goes, "Of course, I forgot. We had one of those stuck in here. I want to take a look inside. Who's up for a little expedition, eh?"
I'd be happy to. I'm not sure what the environment's like in there. You'll have to be in your e-suit again.
As soon as that happens, Theo's already out there getting on his e-suit and stuff.
Captain, do we have time for this?
Not if we're going to do. I mean, the sooner the better for the rescuing people. So.
Oh, it's still gonna take a while, Captain, for Melma and hold on, wait.
Fred?
Fred, there you go. Melma and Fred to get the ship dislodged. That's some very thick plating on this Ganjan vessel here. I'd say we have a little bit extra time on our hands.
Okay. I didn't realize we were waiting for them to be done to go, but we can, I guess. It might be a good idea.
On the sensor reading, all of the human signatures, except for 3, go out.
Okay, we have no time anymore.
Kazuko chimes up and says, "We've got to get in there. Look at the who knows what carnage is going on."
Yeah, that would be my point, but people keep wanting to do other stuff.
A 4th blip shows up, slowly followed by a 5th blip.
Longer to Bryce, have you finished hacking into the monitor system?
Yes.
It should be about done now.
And you are now inside the monitoring systems.
Okay. I'll pull up the room that we are fairly certain they're in, if Bryce can find it. The humans are in, rather. And see what's going on.
Okay, so you pull up the monitor, and I believe I said that was, let me find my little image here. They were on the 3rd level, and they are sort of more in the front of the ship. Let's see, I guess it'd be like the living quarters area. What the monitors show is that there are 3 scientist-looking people, and there's Ganjan soldiers and various personnel all over the place in beds, and it looked like some of them had just fallen over while walking. The 3 scientists don't look Ganjan, though. You suspect that they may be Earther. The Ganjan personnel have hideous wounds all over their body, but you see that there's also a lot of hideous wounds that have healed, it seems. Like you just see these large gashes that have like scabbing and things on them. 2 of the Ganjan people that are moving around they have a lot of wounds on them. You'll see like a 6 blip pop up if you're looking at the scanner and the monitor at the same time. He looked like he was dead, and he just started getting himself up. There's like a puddle of blood underneath him. They look a little disoriented when they wake up. So that 6th person, when he woke up, he looked a little strange, and he's looking around and looking at his arms and legs. And you'll start to see the other ones start to slowly get up. 7th blip, 8th blip, 10, 12.
So they're going from cold to, like, hot on the thermals?
Yes,
like
yes.
that?
Yeah. You won't have a reading, and then they'll heat up, and they'll stand up, basically. And you'll see the scientists like making notes on these little clipboards.
So somehow they're reviving them.
It doesn't seem like they're reviving them. It seems like they're reviving themselves in some manner.
Doc, is there any deck that does that? I don't know of anything.
Well, I can think of his life, but I mean, I have the ability to heal people, but it's not anything like this. Maybe the Rift is doing weird stuff to them.
Can we establish communication with them? You've already hacked into their systems. Maybe.
I mean, Bryce should almost have complete control of them.
Yeah, you think you could talk right to them if you wanted to.
What?
Probably.
Yeah,
you also see probably some of the feeds for the other things too. I should probably let you guys see that before you guys do anything. Okay. So up on the upper deck, where your ship is lodged in, you see also in the front of the ship there's actually 8 aliens, but only 5 of them are moving. The ones that aren't moving have limbs cut off, severe holes in their chest from like plasma blasts and slashing cuts from various monoblades. The last 5 seem like they're yelling at each other, hitting each other, but it seems like if they're hitting each other to make a point. You're not sure. They're yelling at each other, hitting each other, pointing in various directions. It looks kind of like chaos. They don't look. I don't know. I mean, they're aliens. You're not really sure what their body language is, probably, but they are hitting into each other and yelling at each other.
Can Kazuko try to glean any more insights?
Yeah. Why don't? Let's see here. Who's playing Kazuko? That's you?
That would be me.
Okay. Do you have his stats up? I can probably get.
I do. Yes.
Okay. Why don't you roll twice his intelligence? So intelligence, twice.
Okay.
However many dice that is. Because he has been working on the language. He has been probably going over that loop when the thing was screaming at you last time.
He gets 1 success.
Okay. What does Kazuko get from this? You think Kazuko thinks from the various, I guess, the body language and maybe some of the words that were similar to the last recording he has, that there are threats being made, there are choices that are being discussed, options, that sort of thing. Plans are perhaps being discussed and talked about to be put into motion.
They look frustrated or conflicted. It seems like they're trying to come to a consensus, but
Great. So now, while they're distracted, it's a good time to go freeze them.
Well, buy us enough time to get to where we need to and start lowering the temperature in their deck.
Yes. Which is the point. So let's go do that instead of arguing about it and wasting more time.
Oh, but wait a second. Maybe we perhaps can persuade the other members of the ship and the crew. We can talk to them and see what the status is, because they know the ship better than us.
Sure, we can let Kazuko do that if he wants to.
On the feed, you'll see one of the Earther scientists stabs one of the Ganjin with an extra blade that was on the ground, and one of the heat signatures goes out.
What the fuck?
What
How
are
do the
they
others
doing
react?
to them?
Being Earthers, what do you expect? Earthers are scum.
That makes no sense.
How do the
You
others
have
react?
to get in there. They're torturing them.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that on our way. First, we need to freeze these aliens. Then we can go in and shoot these guys in the back.
The scientist makes some notes on his clipboard.
Well, how do the other Ganjin react when they see this? Because I know some of them are up.
You see that there's some look over, but most of them seem disoriented and really just out of it. You'll see a few of them pull out their swords, and they seem like they're practicing swinging, but they don't really look over.
I get off the intercom and then I look to Longbeer. I say, I don't like the looks of this.
Neither do I. Yeah. I mean, I guess we have to eliminate one threat at a time, though technically if we freeze the entire ship, it'll slow them down too.
But let's say we do our rescue. He'll do the air quotes again. Rescue mission.
Yeah.
How can we trust the other Gungans? These guys at least are working with them. The Earthers, that is.
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to evaluate them, I guess, until I can examine them. I mean, as far as we know, they could just be skin-covered cyborgs or something. I don't know.
Kazuko basically interrupts and says, "These are wounded people here. What are you talking about?
Yes, I will.
Can we trust them? They're being tortured by Earthers."
I agree with the trust issue, but that's not that takes second place to the being tortured issue. I don't care if they're on our side or not; they're being tortured. Once we stop them being tortured and rescue them, then we can deal with whether or not we trust them and what we do with them. But for now, we have an obvious action we have to take, so let's go do it.
The scientist stands back, making notes, and the one he just stabbed, the heat signature that went out, comes back, and that Gonjan stands up, and he looks disoriented too, and he's looking around. Some of the other ones that went cold are also getting warm again.
Yeah, whatever. So, we're going next. I'm just making a decision now. We're going to do the freezing thing now, and then on the way back we're going to shoot those Earther assholes, and we'll deal with the Gonjan at that point.
Alright, let's get our buddy Genu here ready.
Yes.
I'll check on the progress of Fred and Melma.
They seem like they have gone and done a good amount of work. You think it's probably been about a half an hour? You think that probably within like an hour and a half or 2 hours they should have the ship so they can back out.
Okay.
Longbeard turns to you, Theo, and says, "Hey, put your stealth suit on before you forget, and I'm gonna go get ready. I'll be up in the armory."
Gotcha.
Of mine too.
So the stealth suit can go on under the E-suit?
Sure, just picture like long underwear under a coat.
Okay, lovely.
Oh, okay, so I could put that underneath my engineer suit too. That's good.
Yeah, that's how I walk around underneath my giant jumpsuit. I just wear it.
This is surprisingly comfortable.
Captain, who is going? Who is the boarding party?
Everyone that isn't needed here, which would basically, at this point, seems like is everyone. Now that Theo's up.
Perhaps someone should stay to monitor the cloning device?
Maybe one, yeah, I guess. If you really think one's necessary, I think we'll need all the men we can get, and we'll just have to trust Han to monitor the ship, but, when it just deactivate the cloning thing, it shouldn't really be able to be reactivated. Because who's going to reactivate it? We're taking Genu with us. Vixen is dead, and Pond doesn't have hands, so she can't plug something in.
Well, no, the cloning device is fixed. I think Theo fixed it and plugged it in.
Yeah, it's fixed, but if we can leave it unplugged, and there's no one here with hands to plug it back in, how
That
is
sort
it
of defeats the purpose of it, doesn't it?
Actually, Captain, I meant not for someone. If one of us get killed, I would rather come back. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, yes. Well, then, yes, we should plug we should program ourselves in and just hope that it doesn't go haywire, I guess. I mean...
Captain, I suggest that we at least leave the doctor here.
Yes, he knows how to deal with it, okay. I mean, he's also the one we would want to take with us in case one of us gets injured, but still. Okay, we can do that if you want.
I know, but the suggestion was just that if he dies on there, it kind of is also bad.
He's also
Yeah.
very, with a pistol, he can defend the ship.
Yeah, okay, sure, we'll leave him. And then everybody else will come and grease these alien things. So,
Longbear walks to the medical bay and grabs the stim off the wall and punches it into his arm. Smiles and walks out.
Bryce is going to move to back himself up in the cloning machine again.
Hey, Doc.
yeah, but,
I've got these little machines running about the place that I made. If you happen to see one crawling about, they'll look like a little four-legged flat bug. Don't panic. They're just making minor repairs to the ship.
okay, good. I will leave it alone. And everybody troops in to back themselves up, I guess.
Yep. That's what Theo does. He'll march right up there real quick.
Starting to get used to the cloning machine, I see.
Not really used to it. I don't like the idea of it anymore, but it just shrugs his shoulders. I don't know right now. I got a lot of things. Oh, jeez. Start rubbing his head.
I understand. Sorry, I shouldn't have brought it up.
He'll just wave his hand. He's like, it's all right. It's all right.
Theo gets a strange sensation of something stabbing his toes.
His mouth will become agape, as if he is screaming, but no sound comes out, and he looks down with his hands extended, going, what? God. Oh. Good. Oh.
And then it fades.
Then he just gets back up and just does this motion where he has his hands up toward his head and just pushes what looks like the air back down, and he takes a deep breath and he just keeps on moving.
The captain has a strange effect where he feels like his face is wrapped in plastic and he can't breathe.
Okay, I will basically start suffocating and panting, like having an asthma attack.
Captain, you all right?
I'm making very obvious I can't breathe noises. And like clutching my throat and everything.
Doctor?
Yes, he goes and grabs like a bronchodilator or something and stabs it into me. Which I don't know if that works with weird rift stuff, but basically an injectable anti-asthma type thing.
Seems like the medicine works like it's supposed to, but for some reason you just can't breathe. And it's continuing.
Well, I will start stumbling drunkenly towards the airlock because I'm just like, fuck it, I'm leaving. This is going to keep happening. And it's going to go away eventually.
You feel this strange tightening as if like a plastic cord has just been wrapped around your neck.
Alright. Well, it's terrifying and it's horrible and I might die from it, but there's nothing I can do about it, and I'm just tired. I'm at this point just going, I'm tired of being fucked with by this rift, so I'm just going to keep acting normal until this goes away.
And then it goes away.
Yep. I hate this thing. As soon as I have enough breath to talk. I hate this stupid rift.
We have to act fast. We don't know how much we can take of this. And
Yeah.
I suggest we put some distance between us and the rift.
Yeah. Our mission may be to investigate it, but we can't investigate it like this, so. Anyway, let's go and get this over with.
Longbeard, you feel like your arms and legs are restrained, maybe to a bed. It's a strange sensation because you're able to move your arms and legs.
Yeah, I guess I'll just swing my arms around and kind of like jump up and down a little bit. And
You get another flash of white light right in your face, and you swear you feel breath on your face.
and it quickly goes away. The breath, anyways, or does it stay?
Everything goes away eventually.
It's nothing. Yeah, I mean, I guess I continue putting on my suit and then grab my blade. Yeah, and then just frown and walk out. Damn it.
So everybody has their stealth suits on underneath their e-suits, and you're heading out outside the airlock. Okay.
Yeah, and everyone's been backed up in the cloning machine, which the doctor has been left to guard.
So we're gonna make the trek around. And in that case, Theo will look at you and say, "I suggest we all hold on to Genu. He is a lot bigger and he can move a lot faster."
Okay, I'll grab onto him. Or I do.
All right, so you all get outside, and that strange spinning, rotating sensation is happening as you watch the rift just, seemingly revolve around you. Obviously, you're just spinning, but it's sort of disorienting and feels kind of strange. You guys say anything as you're walking?
Guys, just don't look at the rift. Oh, that's so disorienting. Oh gosh.
Sort of.
Gee.
So
Yeah,
far.
I just try to focus on plodding ahead and following Genu and not on whatever weirdness is happening from the rift and the spinning and all that.
Genu, move to these coordinates, and I will then type in the coordinates to him.
Affirmative. And he'll start marching forward.
Everyone, hang on.
He'll place one foot in front of the other and is moving quickly down the ship. You see the large, expansive ship in front of you, and again, he's just, it's taking up more of your sight, so the rift spinning around you is a little less disorienting. But you get to the hull of that ship, and you start moving. And you guys were headed towards the lowest level, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes.
So you'll actually move underneath your ship. Your ship will sort of be over top of you as you walk down the side. So it's actually behind you, in a way, because Geno is, his footfalls are actually walking down the side of the ship. And as you get under your ship, now you see the rift a little bit more. You're walking down. You're going to see the escape pods that are on the side. It seems like none of them have been jettisoned. You'll see those two massive energy weapons that are on turrets that are there. But you continue to walk down the side of the ship. And then you get down to the lowest level. And there you find those sort of retractable ramps. It seems that they'll come out if you press certain buttons, if you know the code. And the airlock is there. There's one on either side of the ship. But you are on if you're considering the front half of the ship, like looking at forwards, it's the left side of the vessel.
I have one quick question though. How fast is the rotation?
You can see the rift every 2.5 seconds.
Oh man.
Just even like the light changing on the outside of the hull would be.
Yeah, I guess it would sort of glisten a nice light blue color. So you're going from that vivid blue rift to the stars and the blackness of space.
That'd be super dangerous if one of us were to let go, because that means that if there's any stray parts of the ship and it rotates and it hits us, so it's basically batting a ball in the air.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
Directive completed. We are at our location. Airlock.
Genu, stand by. All right, let's get this airlock open.
Is there control from within the computer system, or is it manual?
There is a manual one, but you are in the system.
Okay. Bryce will just pop it open. Unless that takes another roll.
No, it's open sesame.
Okay.
The door opens up. The airlock is there. You guys walk right in, and Gino does not. He stays exactly where he is.
I will then give Genu the orders. Enter inside airlock, Genu.
Affirmative. They'll plod into the airlock, and then the airlock door closes. Starts to fill up with air.
Does Bryce still have a sort of like network read to pawn at this point?
Do you? Why don't you answer that question for me?
Okay. I think so. I mean, we're embedded in that ship, so it's pretty close range. Theo.
Yeah.
And I suppose we should all make this decision, but I may be able to allow pawn certain permissions to use Genu. If we wanted a more dynamic response to the situation, rather than having to issue all the orders ourselves.
Are you talking about downloading her AI to the bot?
No, I'm saying that there's already a backdoor that she can use.
How long has this been like this?
Wait, she can control the bots?
Yes. And it's been that way for the duration.
He'll have his hands on his hips and be like, I don't think Pawn has any experience with this, but if we could find any programs for combat, I guess that wouldn't be a problem then, huh?
I may be able to implement something rudimentary as we're making our way towards the decks. I know she already has movement controls, so at least when it comes to, say, holding a hallway for us, or blocking something, well, she'll be able to help follow us from the get-go.
They'll lift his arms up. Well, what do you all think?
This is good. I mean, Genu's pretty useless as is. I mean, he's our main weapon against these things, so yeah, this is good. It makes him more useful.
Okay, I'll get to work on that. Pawn?
Yes, Bryce. What is it that you need?
If you could help follow us with Genu and, provide an extra set of eyes, I guess. Or a helping hand when we need it. I think this would be an appropriate time.
Are you sure? That's one of my secrets.
I'm sure. We've discussed it.
Okay, Bryce, I trust you. You'll see that Gino starts to move of its own volition without orders.
Okay. Bryce is hopefully not going to regret this. And he'll start, I guess, writing some code or trying to find libraries for combat. So that, well, no, they should already be in Genu, so Pon should be able to order him to make use of them.
There's probably like some firewall or something she couldn't breach before, but yeah, that's not too hard to just allow her access to his programming.
I'll at least do that temporarily. Yeah.
Interesting. You'll see that instead of the normal symbol that's on like a little light pad on Gina's chest, you'll see the face of Pawn there. Small little, it's basically just an Asian female face.
That's novel.
No.
Theo will wave at her. Just like,
You'll see the air colon hand like waves back.
he'll put his hands on his sides and go, "Oh, that's pretty nice. All right, let's make our way to the engine."
Okay. Bryce will just open the inner airlock.
Once the inner airlock's open, Longbear steps out and takes off his evac suit.
I'll do that. Okay. And I will tell Genu before I turn on my stealth suit and go invisible. If we encounter any of those alien creatures, shoot them with that and point at the air coolant hand.
Understood, Captain. As you guys come out of the airlock, you'll see that there's a passageway down to another sealed door straight in front of you. Sort of to the left, you'll see another door that looks like it heads towards the front of the ship. You see a rounded wall that, if you look at your specifics on the layout, is to a lift and elevator. And then there's the hull, the back of the ship there, that there's a door for that as well. The ship is very clean. It isn't like your rough ship. It seems like there's a lot more expense went into making this more comfortable. It has a more homey feel to it. Almost like they designed this for the passengers to be in space for a long time.
I suggest we take the door to our left. It'll lead us straight into the engineering area. According to the schematics, that is, looking at his data pad.
Bryce will survey cameras ahead to make sure there's nothing strange in our path.
Captain, you ever been on one of these before?
Yeah. Well, yes, I've been on several Gauntlet ships. It's not the one I'm most familiar with, but yes, I've been on this type of ship before.
I didn't know they made them this nice and homely. Almost expecting a fireplace.
Much cleaner than our vessel.
Yes, well, they seem more interested in stuffing our vessel full of experimental technology that keeps going wrong than making it comfortable.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'll take that any day of the week. Push open the door.
Yeah, so it's, as you look, there's like that one that goes towards the back of the ship. That's where engineering is. I think if you wanted to take the door to the left, that would have taken you up towards like the crew quarters area and another lift.
Oh, I was looking at the diagram, and there's the 2 3s there, and...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's right. It's to my left, actually, then.
Yeah, we came in on the port side, so it should be kind of straight ahead of us when we come in, right?
Yeah, if you go straight ahead, it looks like there's a doorway there, and then there's a doorway left that goes into the cargo hold, and then there's a door to the right that goes to engineering. But basically, engineering is at the back of the ship, so there's various ways to get there.
Gotcha. Faye will whip out a light stick and start shining it down. Wait, is it dark in there?
There are lights everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
You
guess
sound almost disappointed.
it's like, no exploration.
I was kind of expecting the whole the whole classic ship with like only just like red dim lights everywhere and some lights flickering and stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
Theo's so used to those dead wrecks.
That's his normal ship.
Well, this level seems pretty good so far, at least in this section.
All right.
Oh, this old bird seems to be holding up.
Longtail
I'll
will stay to the cargo bay door hold, I guess.
Okay, so you get to the cargo bay door.
Is there codes for these, or are these just open because you're here?
I can just snap them open.
Yeah, Bryce. It looks like Bryce is bypassing whatever security there is.
Yeah, basically, if you end up moving towards the door and it looks like you want it open, he'll tend to that.
Excellent.
Which might be weird if you're in a stealth suit and it's active. But, I mean, even within a certain range, could probably figure that out.
It's not going to activate mine until once we're getting somewhere. I don't know. I want people to be able to see me right now, anyways.
I won't really activate the stealth suit until we encounter hostiles that I want to hide from.
That's
Alright.
sensible.
So you guys are now headed into the cargo hold. You see lots of crates and various piled up metal boxes of various shapes and sizes. Everything is written in the Gondran language. And doesn't seem to be anything missing. There's no damage here. You don't see any bodies or anything like that. It's kind of anticlimactic, actually.
Okay.
And you'll get to the door there where it heads into engineering. Except it's hot.
Hot, as in radiating heat, or just hot?
As in, you think that there is probably a fire on the other side.
Well, with thermals, we can probably have a very good sense of that.
Yeah, you think there are fires on the other side. There's some heat signatures there.
Luckily, we have a coolant spraying pot, so...
Wait, can we activate the cooling systems on the inside? Bryce.
I'll take a look. I imagine if we could, they'd have already engaged.
Yeah, they seem to be malfunctioning. Is once you start looking in through the systems. They seem like they've been disabled.
I don't want to open up the door like this. Last time something like this happened, you can have like a backdraft that could occur.
That would be a problem. But their systems for cooling seem to be offline.
Wouldn't a big ship like this have like an emergency venting for the engine? If it started to go fusion or anything?
You think so?
I'll take a look.
Oh, yeah, I was actually asking Theo. That's right.
Oh yeah, of course. All these ships should have them if they're built to specs. I don't know how these Gungans do it.
I don't think they build anything not to spec.
I just can't smirk at you.
Would that be within network control, Theo?
It should be. Try looking under the subroutines of emergencies.
Thank you. Oh, there we go. I think I've got it. If it's still functional, then this should work. He basically clicks it on. All right. Yeah. It looks like the oxygen is depleting. The fire should be. We're good. It's cold. We'll need to pump air back in, though.
Yeah.
I'll close the vents.
Well, let's just open up this door now, and then let the air vent in from there. Theo will back away from the door now, as this happens.
It's a very large cavity. The engineering section.
It's 40 feet high by like a couple 100 feet wide.
It shouldn't deplete the oxygen to a point where it's going to hurt us. It would still move into the same volume.
Okay. Yeah, their life support seems pretty solid. Let's crack it open then.
You see lots of singe marks, and it seems like there's been signs of battle. You'll see a corpse of one of the aliens there against the wall. It's missing several limbs and has huge holes in its carapace and exoskeleton from plasma blasts.
Now, where? Sorry about that.
The Theo's face already kind of wet and from sweating. He kind of looks a little panicked when he sees it, and kind of looks like he's reaching for a blaster, but there's no blaster there. It's just his tools, and he's just kind of clinging on to a little bit.
You'll also see a few limbs from Ganjin crew, and they're moving.
That's not right.
What? Oh, what? I kind of kick it.
How come?
Like a little tap.
You'll see that the ends of the limbs have healed up.
Wait, even with the burning of the entire room, these aren't destroyed?
There are some that are destroyed, but there are some, the whole room wasn't on fire, just sections. So there are some burned limbs and things, but the ones that were in a safe area, they seem like if you would cut your arm off at the elbow, skin has grown over the cut areas.
Theo, with a slightly shaky hand, will pick up one of the arms and hold it out.
It'll try to slap at you feebly and flops around violently.
Oh, God. He'll just toss it back down. God. Oh. It wouldn't be so bad if it was cybernetic.
Yeah. And just starts throwing the arms into the fire, trying to get rid of them.
They'll flail, and then when they hit the flames, they'll flail more and then stop.
Theo will then, seeing all that, he thinks back to what had happened, what feels like just mere moments before, and he'll kind of grab his stomach and go, putting his hand over his mouth and, breathing heavily.
The alien that's there, you'll look at its shoulders where the other aliens were. They were marked. This one has a different symbol than the other two.
Do my memories, my 6 days memories that I stole from them, have any, give me any sense as to what they could mean?
You seem to think that they are some sort of designation.
Like a rank?
You're not sure.
Okay.
I'll begin to poke at it with my elongated tool.
Seems like it is lifeless and dead.
Is it large, like one of the big ones that attacked us, or smaller, or human size?
It's probably about 12 feet tall.
Ooh.
So it's still pretty massive, but it wasn't as big as the first one.
So in between the two that attacked us?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's missing... Oh, go ahead.
On the ground, there's no electric pike or anything like that, or any type of weapon, two-handed weapon or something that would carry.
No, nothing like that at all. It doesn't seem like it had a weapon at all.
If it doesn't have any tool belts or anything on it, or any type of bandolier or straps, if it doesn't have any clothing or anything, I guess we'll...
It doesn't. The one thing you do notice, however, that it seems to have these weird round growths that are coming out around its hips. They seem to have some sort of fluid inside of them. They sort of look like a large, wrinkly grape, or if you picture what a grape skin looks like, except it's about the size of a fist, and it kind of goes up to a small, sinewy sort of the outside of like a hot dog or something. It's skinny. It seems like it can be ripped easily.
Theo will actually poke at that. And
No, don't poke that.
It's fluid inside. It moves. It seems like it can be ruptured very easily.
Yeah, don't pop it, please.
He'll retract himself and God, these things. We'll let the doc handle that.
Let's try to freeze the ones that are still alive.
I will bring up the monitor systems on that. Bryce.
Yes.
Can you do a blackout sequence on where they're at? Essentially preventing them from opening up the door. Or at least for the time being.
I should be able to. I'm not sure they really understand these systems.
That's
Okay.
all the better.
Yeah, I'll seal them in as best I can. But we saw how they tore through our door. I'm not sure how much trouble they'll have once they start panicking.
That's alright. I just need only a few moments for this one. And Theo will then begin to input instructions into that particular section of the ship, specifically that room, and he'll just start selecting temperature gauges, and for a moment he'll look a little puzzled, and he'll think, I'm not quite sure how low to go. You know what, F it, we'll just go this, and he'll just put in like minus 80. And then he'll engage it. Let's see how you like this.
So the room starts to cool off quickly.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be even faster if we could just bed cool them directly into there.
The cooling systems are offline. That's why the fires are still going. So, unfortunately, unless we send Gino in, we don't really have an option on that front.
Well, that could be our second option if they get out of there. But for now, let them freeze. Do they look like they're like very capable of getting out, or are they just like panicking impotently?
Okay. This is what'll happen. As we look onto the monitor screens, we'll see the creatures suddenly start to react as the temperature falls. The circle that they had where they were arguing now it becomes even more frequent, and I'm going to guess we're going to have the audio on for this one, and you'll hear them going back and forth.
One shoves the other.
And then they'll begin to just start frantically running about, and one of them will begin to stare at the controls, but not knowing what to do in frustration, just begin stabbing it, and then the other ones will begin looking at the door, and they'll try to open it, but it won't, and as they do so, they'll begin to frequently hit it, and then you'll start to see their bodies start to, not really singe, but it will start to glow less as it looks like it's cooling, and their movement becomes a lot more stiff as they try frequently to get their way out. Some of them will have their hands on shoulders and leaning on the other. And then they'll slowly curl up and fall to the ground. And their bodies stop to glow. and they become black, chitinous, obsidian carapaces, shriveled, and their curled, dead, insectoid-like state.
That was a lot more effective than I thought it was going to be.
Theo will turn around and go, beats bug spray.
Yeah.
Now let's go stop those Earther guys. Although now I'm kind of more afraid of the Gonjan than of them. After seeing those arms.
Bryce, you're going to have to make me a roll. You're trying to be kicked out of the system.
Ah, interesting.
You're having
Okay,
some
he's gonna
hacker
roll
warfare, basically.
His
Nice.
last point of willpower trying to prevent that. Okay. Just a minute.
Guess I should roll some dice, too.
See, all of a sudden, Bryce's eyes just kind of roll back. He stops.
Well, not too bad. You just have to beat a 2.
5 successes. Oh, 6 successes.
Okay. Yeah. It looks like you think one of the Earthers was probably trying to prevent you from being able to open up any door you want. And with 6 successes, what do you want to do?
Okay. With 6 successes, I'm going to. Well, what's he interacting with the systems through? Is it through a datapad or something?
It's through a similar computer system that's in his head.
Interesting. Okay.
So have fun with that.
Yeah. I'm going to lock that down, which will feel extremely strange to him. He's just not going to be getting anything. In fact, if he does try to push any further, I'm going to Findos him, which is what Jylan did to me. It's a formed, invasive, neurally disruptive, what was it? Oscillating signal. Which will be excruciating.
Why don't you roll like 10 dice?
Okay. Wonderful. Oh, can I get 10?
See if you can induce coma.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Sorry, things fell on the ground. Alright, well, I've got at least 4 successes. Yeah, 4.
Okay. You'll see your monitors in your head, that one of the Earth scientists is now clutching at his face, and he's falling to the ground screaming.
Okay. Bryce is not even going to comment on that to the rest of the crew. However, if he has a moment of silence, he's going to use that past thoughts power to brain hack him. Well, it's not whatever Theo's brain hack term is, but to see if he can pull some memories out.
And I believe that's is that 6 days in the past?
Yes, it is.
I think that's what it was last time. Well, since he's convulsing in agony and pain, I'm not going to give him a roll. So, 6 days, okay. So you get random thoughts of test subjects. That's the way he looks at the Gonjan. You'll see a sight of 3 scientists that are imprisoned in part of the ship. They've been locked in there. You'll see Gonjan guards through the eyes of this person that you're getting the memories from. You'll see that they have another memory of them getting out, them freeing each other. They seem to be using some sort of technology. And you see them open a very small... You wouldn't call it a box. It's more like a oval skin-looking thing. They literally cut it with a scalpel and open it up. And they set it at the feet of these 2 guards that they've knocked out in the front of their room. And you don't see anything. But after a while, the 2 people will start to convulse violently. They look like they die. You'll see the scientists checking their vital signs. and then they'll release, and then the two people will eventually get up, and they look disoriented. And you have memories of them commanding them to do certain things. And the Ganjin pretty much listening, and just having a sort of confused look on their face the whole time. You'll see that there's other memories of them cutting more of these things open and handing them to the guards. And then after some time of waiting, the guards come back with like 5 or 6 other Ganjin. And the process continues. Eventually they seem like they're in control. And there's lots of sadistic tests of, it seems like they're killing them, and they revive themselves. They've tied some of them down, hacked off limbs, and you'll see the limbs will grow back if they're attached, or they'll seal off if they're not attached. And you see lots of notes about nanotechnology. It seems like this is working. They're listening to us. And then you get memories of the invasion. You'll see lots of strange ships surrounding it, more of those probes slamming into the hull. There's some chaos. It seems like the Earther scientists weren't really in charge yet. They were in the process of that. You'll see memories of violence, of these alien creatures coming in, just roasting people alive, flames jutting out from bits of them. You'll see one of them throwing those sacks and just melting people's faces and limbs horribly when they erupt on someone. So lots of various memories. Right now, there's some thoughts and things of what are they doing here? They can't have this technology. I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. Captain?
Yes.
I just had them try to kick me out of the system, the Earthers. But I've been able to, well, for one thing, lock them out of doing that, and I've been able to access some of their data. It looks like they've been developing some sort of biological mind control technology. I'm not entirely sure how to explain it, but they seem to have taken command of the entire Ganjin crew. If I were to hazard a guess, I think they'll be hostile to us if we do approach them, even with you being Ganjin.
Mind control and remembering what they've already been doing. I just start, draw my sword and just start running towards where they are. Clearly, just so hate them that, just berserker charging.
You'll see that Gino is running in step with you.
Yes.
If you find any organic capsules they throw at you, do not touch them. I guess he yells after him.
Yes.
Does anybody else run, or do you stay together?
Actually, Theo switches the monitor view now to the scientist, and he'll look over to Bryce and he'll say, "What's this? Do we have any access to the med bays?"
I'll be back in a minute.
We should. What would you like done with them?
Well, seeing as how we're in this situation, perhaps we can send some inoculate gas in there and knock them out. They have to have some anti-boarding party defense systems.
I don't know much about Ganjin technology, but it looks like there's something like that here. It's, I'm gonna have to consult the doctor on. Well, unless Long, do you have any idea what hydramyxylide carbide Gas?
Yeah, it's very standard knockout gas that are pretty most of the Gungeon vessels. It's not quite for boarding parties. It's more for suicide missions to put the crew out right before a crash. So it
Interesting.
would work in this case.
Okay. I don't know how tight the targeting can be on them. It might sweep the whole deck.
Oh, that's what I'm looking for. We'll just sweep the whole deck. If they're all going to be hostile to us, I say we just take them all down and tie up the rest. And that way we can deal with them in a more controlled fashion.
I'd suggest we put all our E-suits on
Oh, let's tell that
if
to the
we've taken them
captain.
off.
You'll see the intercoms come on line, and you'll see a face of one of the scientists. What do you want?
I'll lean over into the monitor, my elbow against the side of it, and my other hand leaning up against my head. Specifically, this is his metal arm, so it's more a cybernetic one, and he'll look at him and say, I want you to stand down. We just got done saving you. You should probably show a little gratitude.
They're all dead?
Maybe, maybe not. That really depends. And then Theo will take a playback of the earlier recordings, and he'll play it back. Go. Oh, looks like some of them might still be alive. That's a bit of a problem. They'll have a very sarcastic look to his face, and he'll make it very obvious.
Who the hell are you guys? What are you doing here? What?
We got your distress signal. We're here to help.
Distress signal. He'll look over at the other scientist, sort of like questioningly. We didn't send a distress signal. It must have been a malfunction. We're fine.
No, you're not fine. You had an alien craft lodged into the side of your ship, which then proceeded to attack us.
Yeah, it's
Not what I'd...
Shame it didn't blow you guys up.
He'll now stop leaning up against it, and he'll have a more... Oh, really? Well, then, I guess we'll just leave these guys to you then, and he'll keep playing their... Oh, looks like they're heading right to you, according to these sensors.
And of course they're locked out of the ship sensors, so they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know.
Perhaps we should start opening the doors, heading towards them.
Man the barricade. Man the barricade.
It'd be very rude for us to just, let them continue.
You'll see that a bunch of Gonjin have gone over towards the boarded up areas. The doors to get into where they're at the moment. They seem like they're following commands.
Alright, and I'm back now, so...
So I wonder how close the captain is at this point.
The captain has probably got to the doors. They've been locked and sealed. But from your side, it just looks like a normal door. You'll maybe see some weld marks, maybe some heat.
Do we still have comms with the captain?
Yeah.
Okay. Captain, if you could put your E-suit on, that would be very helpful.
Okay, I don't know if I even brought it with me, but I assume I did.
Well, we were in the vacuum of space when we were heading here, so probably.
But I left mine by the door.
You'll see Gino start to blast and smash into the door. It starts to bend and buckle. The hinges start to... This doesn't have hinges, but, around the edges of the door, it starts to separate in places.
So this is the door that's right outside of the barricade?
Yeah, so you'll see the scientists look very disturbed.
And
the door! And the barricades!
I look at him and I say, we are your only way out of this situation, so...
The scientist? I thought I was the one that was near him. I didn't realize you would come up to him.
Well, Gino...
No, the scientist used intercoms to contact us.
Oh.
Yeah, so right now the captain And Genu, what's the captain doing? You have your sword. You can do.
Oh, I was just going to like run up to where I could see him, activate my stealth suit, get up behind him, and cut him to shit. Because at this point, I'm completely irrational about the concept of they might be useful as captives. Like, no, you just need to die. I have a vice of wrath. I have a hatred of Earthers already, and I've seen them torturing my fellow Ganjin and mind controlling them. So, like, I have no ability to be reasoned with.
All right. Well, if you're that, this is kind of like one of those flip out moments in Vampire.
That's why I was describing it as like I just start running like a maniac, making a beeline for them with my sword out.
Okay,
like
well,
I am not rational.
There is a barricade between you, but since you're in such a rational state, I'm going to say that once Genu starts bashing into the door, you start hacking into it with your sword, and you actually manage to get in through the metal.
Yeah, I can just use the hardened sword power to make it so it doesn't break when I cut it.
Yeah, so Bryce will see that the captain is literally cutting through metal.
And just has this like rictus of rage on his face. Like
Genu is helping. So you'll see that door like in the feed in the area where the Earthers, they're looking very panicked. You'll see the Ganjin, they're pulling out blades.
Bryce, tell Pond to stop, and then just gas the whole spot. Gas it all.
Yeah, he fires off the gas. Pawn.
What?
Stop aggressive maneuvers. We have a way of neutralizing the situation.
All right, and does the captain stop, or does the captain keep going?
No, I don't care. I'm frenzying.
So at this point, the door has been smashed enough where the wily captain has waded into the room, swinging his blade frantically. The Ganjin that are there, I'm not even going to make you roll it. They block, but like a child just learning how to use a sword blocks.
Yeah, so I just like whack them with the flat of the blade to get them out of the way. And just
so why don't you describe the scene? I'll let you just narrative the hell out of this one.
All right, so I come busting like. From the Earther's perspective, we like have a shot of them looking at the wall, like like the scene from the first Star Wars prequel of them just going, "What the hell? They're cutting through the door!" And just see the door getting busted in by Genu and the wall getting busted, and then just suddenly, poof! The bulkhead just like flies inward as I finally break through it, and I'm standing in the breach and then just charge in and. Any Ganjin that get in my way, I, like, block one of their things and then just, like, let go with one hand, punch them in the face to knock them out of the way, and, like, just keep bull rushing through any that are in my way to get to the Earther, like, jump on top of the Earther, tackle him to the ground, the one that's still up, and just start slashing him repeatedly.
At some point, the second Earther tries to get you off of him, and then what happens?
I thought the other one was in, like, insane crisis, broken his brain.
There was three.
Okay, the other one tackles me. I, just run backwards and bang him into the wall, and, just repeatedly headbutt him. So it's just like he jumped on me like a monkey on my back, and so I run back into the wall and just, even though this is painful, because headbutts are painful, I just keep butting the back of my head into his face until he's... And that one might actually live, because I wasn't using a sword on him, but I do, like, pulverize his face until he goes limp.
Okay, and somewhere towards the end of this, the gas has been hit, and the captain and everyone else that's still alive in that room falls to the ground unconscious.
Yeah. And Theo at least was watching all of this, so you're probably going, what the fuck?
My mouth will be agape. And I will turn back and I'll go, that was pretty dicey.
And the one guy that I did stab is like cut into bloody ribbons on the ground, so.
Oh, jeez.
Like a wild animal just tore him apart or something.
Yeah, I just pictured just the blade going back and forth and just blood flying everywhere, limbs falling down.
Yes.
Like John said, there's probably lots of maybe some of those powers of coldness have come out of you. Every once in a while, you're not even in control of yourself.
Yeah, just for those that were in the room, it probably did get a lot colder just because of radiating energy of doom.
All right, so the captain's unconscious. What does everybody else do?
I guess we all stand there with our mouths open going, what the?
Yeah, I think that's an appropriate response.
Theo will have his back to the panel, and he'll just have his hands running through his head and going, oh, jeez. Oh. All right, guys, let's head up there and try to secure them all.
Okay. Are we sure that the creatures are dead? I mean, they look dead, but I'm concerned that they, I don't know.
Oh, let's check on them.
I guess as long as they're frozen, it doesn't matter for now.
I'll flip the monitors back. And they're all still curled up in their decrepit state. Yeah, they seem pretty down. Of course, I have no way of truly knowing.
Yeah. Just in my head, something so horrible probably has a way of just, pretending to be dead, and then maybe I've watched too many vids.
We can
We can check them after.
Yeah, we can always just, yeah, and Theo will lower the temperature by another 10 degrees.
Theo, it feels like someone's sawing through your arm.
Oh, good. Which one?
Pick.
I'm gonna go with the organic one this time, and what? Oh, yeah.
You'll get a sensation of a bright light in your face, very close, and similar thing. You think you're looking at something, but it's very translucent. It feels like you're looking through about 6 inches of plastic. You see weird movements on the other side of it.
At this point, Theo has an immediate flashback of when he was brought on board the COG station, and they were doing some emergency work on his arm, seeing as how he had had it completely tore up, and he was. This reminds him of being on the table with the doctors and cyberneticists strolling about, cutting the arm off. He remembers being semi-conscious and seeing the arm come off, the tendons and the blood, and the very clean operation. But he remembers the sights and sounds somewhat, and it all becomes somewhat fluid to him as he sees it. And you'll see him kind of stumble back and forth, and he'll lean his back up against the wall and kind of slide down a little bit.
And then it ends.
Yeah.
Theo, you okay? What happened? Kind of long and reaching out, grabbing your shoulders. You okay?
I think I had another attack, I should say, from the exposure of the rift, of what I'm assuming.
What happened? Are you in pain? Did your,
No, it was those sensations we've all been experiencing. I had the sensation of my arm being sawed off.
When he says that, everyone sort of goes into these horrible spasms.
Oh, shit.
And you start to levitate several feet off the ground.
Wait, we all levitate?
Yeah. And then it stops and you fall roughly down to the ground.
Oh. Are the gravity systems offline?
It doesn't look like it.
Okay, forget it. We gotta go. We gotta get this done. Alright, come on now. I'll start helping everyone up. Come on.
Is Bryce detecting any weird thought patterns with the passive sense thoughts thing?
Right now, you think the only thought patterns you're getting is from your crew members. Everyone else is unconscious.
Okay.
I keep wondering if those quantum filaments that we were destroying earlier, if that has anything to do with this. It has to be.
I just don't know. Well, whatever's happening, we need to get everyone in a controlled environment and make sure everything's okay. Kazuko says.
Sorry, Kazuko, but I don't think there's any environment that we have any control of at the moment. The way things are going, we need us to get away from the rift.
This seems different than the Rift, doesn't it? Have you ever... I keep getting glimpses of images of things from my past, maybe? From when I was operated on, when I got my... When they put the reform tech onto my head, I'm guessing? I mean, is that what you're getting?
Theo will kind of grab his cybernetic arm and kind of look down a little. Anyways, I don't know if it's revolved around the rift or not, but I see a bunch of coincidences and I begin to see a pattern, don't you?
Yeah. Let's get the captain and get the hell off this ship.
Actually, I was thinking we can move the ship as well.
That seems perfectly feasible. I can pull up all the piloting information. We'll have to get to the command deck, though.
Well, luckily we have Pon with us.
Yes?
Pon, meet us in the command deck, if you will.
Can she bring the captain as well?
I can bring the captain if you wish. I would perhaps suggest restraints. If he wakes up, he might still be in that... I don't know what you would call it. He was like an animal.
I call it impressive.
A few times he got close to cutting Genu, but he seemed to be able to move the blade wherever he wished it to be. Felt like instinct.
We call that killer instinct, Pon.
I've never seen such violence before.
Well, we can have this theological discussion later, but right now, we gotta get this out of here. Do you have any restraints upon you? I didn't really check Junu's systems at all that much.
I can find some wires in the walls.
Be very careful of his circulation, Pon.
Understood.
Thank you.
You'll see in the monitors that Geno starts to bind the captain. It seems like Geno's actually being gentle, though.
It's such a bizarre sight for me to see that.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
How is she eyeing him with one, nozzle hand and a clubbing hand?
Oh, that's true. It's more like twisting. It's sort of like a bread tie, you know?
Actually, in Theo's, he'd probably put, secondary arms inside your chest.
Mm-hmm.
Out, and they do the little mechanical things that the big arms can't.
That's fair.
All right, we'll make our way up to the command deck. I'll grab my E-suit on the way up there, too.
Yeah, it's a good idea. We'll grab all the suits that are on the wall.
All right, so you guys will head up through one of the lifts.
Classical Ganjan will be playing.
You come up to the lifts, and you have to get through a few doors. Up here, there's a lot more burning and damage done. Looks like the Quay really ravaged this section of the ship. You'll see a lot of the doors have been smashed open. There's a lot of blood.
Oh boy.
Are the systems looking okay, though, for the most part?
It seems...
I was going to ad-lib if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
All right. The systems, it all looks superficial from here. I don't think these things really understand how these ships work, so I'm guessing they're just going to hack and slash into anything. But nothing looks permanently damaged. But we won't know until we do a brief system diagnostics of the actual piloting systems of the ship. That's most important right now.
Absolutely.
Theo will begin putting on his E-suit at this point.
I was just sort of curious, regarding scale, could what is left of our ship fit in the shuttle bay?
That's a good question. For the sake of coolness, we'll say yes.
But not the alien ship sticking out.
The alien ship is, that's probably too big. It's twice as large.
That's true.
Yeah, you'll have to remove the alien ship.
That is such a bizarre scene. We're stuck in this ship. Like, our ship is stuck in theirs, and their ship is stuck in us.
Yeah, it's a space turducken.
Yeah.
Another ship into another ship. Longbeard jumps into the pilot seat, pushing the corpse of the dead pilot off onto the ground gently. And then begins to try to power up the engines to see if they'll go through a dry run to see if they'll power up right.
Yeah, it seems like they've been sabotaged, and that's why the ship was dead in its tracks. And the engineering room was on fire. Seems like there's the ship right now at this present moment is dead in the water, but you're not sure if it could be repaired or not.
I guess I'll go to the others, the the damage control station, and sit down there and see if we can hook up whatever internal repair systems, see if they're functioning.
It seems like they've been turned off.
I guess if anyone know how to turn on these repairs?
Can Bryce re-enable them?
Sure.
Okay. He does so.
You'll see a bunch of lights start to flash on the screen. Damage reports are coming in, and you'll see small bots have, on the monitors, detach themselves from the walls, and they're going to various locations to try to fix them.
Bryce is going to check their code and make sure there's nothing malicious that's been slipped in.
Okay. Why don't you give me another roll?
Okay. One success. Oh, 2 successes.
Okay. You think that there are 2 bots that have been tampered with to sabotage. But it's not that hard to turn them off.
Excellent. Thanks. He does so.
Is the life support system functioning properly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So as you guys are talking about this and all this is happening, it's almost like you go unconscious. You feel this draining sort of like you get sweaty. You feel this strange burning sensation sort of in your stomach. The light starts to fade from your eyes. Is there anything that you guys say to each other as this is happening?
Guys, I don't feel well.
What?
Internal.
Bryce just tries to broadcast a message back to Colt. Colt?
Yes.
Are
Yes,
you experiencing the...
Yeah, cold is too.
Okay.
So he like hits the button and then passes out.
Yes.
Looks like Pawn's in charge now.
All right. Here's the little reveal. You are all in a very strange, bizarre room without any angles. There's a low blue light that's emanating from somewhere. You try to look around, your eyes are sort of flicking open, and there's these plastic containers that are on your faces. They seem thick. You can see movement around you. There's things moving. You see the blue light sort of get dimmer, and you'll see like a darker sort of shadowy shape move closer towards whatever's on your face. You feel like there's wires and tubes that are in your mouth. You have this sort of metallic taste. There's some sort of piece of metal that's round and immovable on the top of your tongue. You feel various bits of pain all over your bodies, and it seems like lacerations or cuts or wounds. You're not really sure what. You think you can make noises.
Yeah, my first thought is, as soon as I'm not groggy enough to actually try doing it, is to just try and freeze all this stuff. Like, sudden burst of pushing all the Kaizen energy I can into just making a zone of freezing around me, and hopefully that will break some of this stuff so I can actually, like, move.
Are you going to use your most recent one where you can drop the temperature like 50 degrees?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That seems like the best simulation of just pushing a ton of power into cold.
Okay, that'll be the captain's action. How about John? What does Longbeard do in this situation? You feel restrained. All of you do.
Yeah, I mean, Longbear's first response is to think what's going on, and he can't speak, so he'll tug at the restraints, and when he notices that they don't start to break free, he'll just draw on all his anger and just push everything into his Kaizen power, so his muscles just kind of bulge, and he gets a lightish blue glow around him, and he just snaps whatever's holding him, hopefully.
Okay, that's Longbeard's action. How about Theo?
I think at this point, seeing all this happening, he's going to be shaking and very nervous, not very disoriented. This will remind him of the cramped spaces and hiding out on the station from the raiders. And he won't understand it at first, but he'll feel a sudden warmth from within. And it'll emanate throughout his body and accentuate through his hands and feet. Everywhere around him, he'll feel this emanating warmth, and it'll get hotter and hotter. But he won't feel the heat as much, but he can feel it expel from him. And I think this will be as good a time as any to express his Kaizen power of flame.
Yeah, one of the scorching aura, probably, is what you're describing?
Yeah. Just melting everything around him. Of course, not really knowing what he's doing, actually. It's almost as if his instinct now, he's just drawing upon it and just thrusting it outwards.
Okay. How about Bryce? What's Bryce's action?
Bryce is reaching out with all the faculties of awareness that he doesn't think are being crippled by a plastic container over his head. So he's going to see if he has network connectivity to any local computer systems, whether Pawn's there. I guess, first off.
Pawn is not there. You read...
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead, keep going.
Oh, well, I was interested if there were more was more information.
Yeah, pawn is not there. You read 3 separate minds of a different alien vibe.
Okay, are the crew present?
Yes, all the crew are present. You can sense all of them and their thoughts. And
Sorry.
yeah, lots of anger, burning, so forth. And you seem like you are sensing something else that's living that seems a lot larger, that you're inside of it.
Okay. Do the thought forms that are alien, do they remind me of the ones of the clay?
No, they don't. There's these weird thought symbols that are there.
Okay.
Alright, so that's Bryce. He's reaching out and realizing, oh shit.
Yep.
What's the captain do? Oh, the captain, that's right.
Yeah, I was...
Cold. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Colt has not... Unfortunately, I don't think he has any Kaizen powers that are applicable here or anything.
No, I
I
don't think
don't
he
know
does.
his sheet well enough to know
Yeah,
that.
he's better like combat, like shooting things and...
Yeah, but he doesn't have access to a gun, so he doesn't have
No.
really any way of just getting out of here as himself.
He could dislodge his hand, have it like
Oh yeah, I
kind
guess
of stick or something.
that works. He could like try and shoot his hand off and make it start untying him or something.
Creepy.
Effective.
Okay, so that will happen.
Just launch his hand, try to get free. And who else we have? Kazuko.
Kazuko is going to telekinetically move the plastic container off of his head.
Awesome. All right. So, the captain is freezing things to death. He's chilled the room. In fact, let's see how this works. The captain feels in it.
It says 4 points plus 1 per degree I can lower the thing, so I don't even have enough to get it like 50 degrees down, much less to freezing if we do it that way, but that depends on what the temperature already is.
The temperature was actually quite cold in the room. It was
Okay,
about 40 degrees.
Alright, then I might be hit, because I only have 40 points, and I have to spend 4 on just activating the thing, plus 1 for each degree. So.
Plus you have a lot of those innate powers already for your blade.
Oh, I didn't realize those were innate, so yeah, between all of those, I have like 10 or so points left.
Okay, you definitely reduce, we're going to say that you reduce it like maybe, I don't know, 20 degrees, something like that, so it's like 20 degrees in there.
Yeah, which might be enough to start working, I don't know.
So in all this violence and chaos, it's like Longbeard breaks free, the helmet flies off Kazuko. You see that you're all in these beds. Beds is a weird term, so that's like a misnomer. But you're laying down on these round surfaces that don't really support your shoulders or your hips. It's right along your spine. It feels like you see around. You can't see your own, but these large like metallic spikes are in the like one for every vertebrae, or maybe the spaces between, or in your spine. Your arms are sort of out on your side, and there were supports, but if you're moving your arms, they're not resting on those. You're in a room that's just blue light. You don't see walls. It's just at some point you just can't see any further. There are these 3 floating alien creatures, you assume, with these dark eyes, chitinous spaces on their face, sort of like various piled upon scales, one on top of each other, like plates that can move in and below one another. They sort of undulate. The third eye's in the center of their face, and they're floating. They don't seem to have legs. They sort of just end this sort of like diamond tail-looking thing. They have humanoid arms, and their fingers are long and outstretched, and they seem to be moving backwards away from you all.
Are we still like on these spears in a way?
Yeah, you can feel each individual spike between your vertebrae.
I will try moving.
You see, like, you move too far to the left, and like your one arm starts to spasm. You feel intense pain, but you think you can pull yourself off of them.
Theo will carefully pull himself off, feeling the aura of heat around him. He'll just slowly get himself off. Are we fully clothed, or?
You're naked.
Oh, boy.
You see one of the creatures sort of lift its hand up, and you get these thought symbols in your head, all of you. You're not even sure what they mean or what they're trying to do, but they seem to be having no effect.
All right. Well, at this point, now that I've probably noticed the spike stuff too, I just came out of that frenzy about the Arthurs experimenting on people, and I wake up and discover people are experimenting on me, and they're behind all the stuff, all the pain I've been going through as I've had these weird spasms. So I go almost not as completely into frenzy as before because I'm exhausted and confused and damaged from all the stuff they've been doing to me, but I do definitely get enraged again and just like rip myself very carelessly off of the spikes. And then they start trying to mess with my head, and I just like, a lot of stuff I don't understand. Or like Theo is thinking about it rationally and trying to avoid getting hurt. I'm just going, ugh, I want to kill you.
How about everybody give me a willpower roll with 3 extra dice?
Do I still get one of those if I've burnt all my willpower points?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It's really just based on 2 stats. So.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Although you are supposed to feel very like not very completely exhausted when you have no willpower. Like,
absolutely.
That's true.
Are we actually just rolling the 6 dice then?
Yeah, whatever your willpower rating is.
And then +3?
+3.
All right.
Oh, so we're rolling dice equal to our rating?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
3 successes.
Okay. I have 1 success.
That's enough.
So do I.
Longbeard gets 6. 4-0.
Yeah, Longbeard's greatest fear of being captured again has come to
That's exactly what I was going to get into. Yeah.
come to life.
Okay, in hell, Mike.
All right, so we'll say that the other characters get theirs as well. That's cool. So it felt like they were trying to put you back under. One lifted up his hand, nothing happened, and the other 2 did the same thing. And you've resisted. So you're pulling yourself off of spikes. They're moving back farther into that strange light enclosure. And I think we'll stop there.
All right.
Everybody's hair starts sticking up. Static electricity.
All right. I'm not sure, but it looks like that my recording software crapped out on me today.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know if we're going to get any audio today, but we got to play.
Yeah.
That's better.
And I just realized now that I realized all that stuff is innate, I just realized what a badass I am with a sword. So.
Yeah, I was trying to hint at that. Like, here's all your powers, man. You should look at them.
You kept going for the gun, and I'm like, man, he's got all those awesome things.
So I'm definitely going to be starting, like, trying to get a scene of, like, me training one of you with the sword or anything, just so I can have the more sword scenes I can have, the happier I am at this point.
You can imagine, like, you saw yourself cutting through a bulkhead with a blade. I mean, that's like a lightsaber thing. It's, like, awesome.
Yeah, because the character has never if all of that with the Quay was weird hallucinations that these guys gave us, I've never actually seen myself do anything interesting with a sword. So that would be a perfect justification for me having the training scene is like, I want to see how much of this I can actually do and how much of it was in my head.
Yeah,
I'm probably testing out all my powers, just like, do I actually have this or is this something from the dream?
Do we know for certain it was a dream?
Or is this
Well, I definitely have cold powers. So that part either wasn't a dream or at least the power part of it wasn't.
Well, at least we now have confirmation that we're no longer in that turducken ship condition now.
Yeah.
That makes me feel a lot better, but also disappointed now because it also means that all the upgrades that we were doing haven't been. Oh wait, that still means the ship is still damn. Oh,
all that work.
oh, jeez.
Still have to fix Jinu, and
All right, yeah, guys, I'm back.
Oh. We're all naked right now. Is it's happening. We're all naked, and we all are basically in our most vulnerable situation. I love the I like the part where we were just ad-libbing the quay.
Oh God, yeah.
That was great.
It's a shame that didn't get recorded.
Yeah, that was hilarious. My son was screaming, and I was still hearing it. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with that. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, normally on Saturdays, my son doesn't sleep when he's with the neighbors. And then when he comes back over, he just goes to bed, but they let him take a little nap. I was like, oh, you let him take a nap? Oh, crap. Yeah, he's actually sleeping now, so that's cool. But, yeah, I thought that was great when you guys were like, I'm all bummed out.
I don't know if I got the syntax right. So.
Yeah.
I think I mispronounced my with my.
Yes, well.
That'll be an interesting conversation for Kazuko to have when he becomes fluent. He'll be like, no, you didn't get the right. You just called his family a bunch of penny loafers. You don't. No, you gotta change that.
Penny loafers.
You have to put more in your.
You keep saying it the same, and you're like, you can't hear it? You can't hear the difference? No, I can't hear the difference. Sounds
Sounds weird.
It's with your.
So the scene where you're all strapped into like some weird medical equipment is actually based on the flashbacks.
I figured it was based on the we got captured by the she thing from the old man scene.
Oh, that's right. That was the old man clones one. That's right. I forgot where that was from. Like, you remember that time?
Yeah.
So she were fucking with us. It's like, oh, okay. And I was including like those tingling sensations like way back when, and I was like, oh, it kind of sounds like, I had this planned the whole time. No, I'm just taking that idea and running with it. So, all right.
Yeah. Well, I do that. Anything that anyone attributes to me as a GM that I had, oh, you had that planned? No, I'm just making shit up and using what's already there.
I loved it. That's so good. Very, very Inception moment too. When it was like, oh, this becomes a dream. Like, oh, jeez.
Well, that's the thing. The idea I had was that it isn't a dream. You're just reliving the trip, and the she are documenting all the details.
Oh.
I can let you guys see that because I had this idea that they're gonna wipe your memory and send you back, but we'll see. And that maybe the capsule, that weird energy will just constrict you guys.
We'd end up having like these abduction style flashbacks and stuff. It's like, I've had missing time.
Yeah.
It's like that episode of Star Trek Next Generation where the interdimensional aliens are abducting crew members, and they had to go to the holodeck and recreate that area. Oh man, it'd be cool. We end up doing that. Oh man. No, the light was there.
But, do you guys have any just random thoughts about today? I don't know.
I liked getting to be a frenzying samurai of doom. That was fun.
I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with the whole idea of taking, I guess, narrative control, I suppose, from a player perspective. At first, I was a little apprehensive. I was very keen on the idea, but I didn't know exactly how much liberty to take with it. But now I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I still feel those times when I'm like saying something where I want to ask if it's okay to say this or that instead of just going with it. Like, I don't know why.
I have the same thing where
Yes.
I feel like I have to answer all the time. Like,
Yeah.
Wait, just you do it.
And I would have been doing more stuff like that, probably, except I've been distracted for all week, so.
I was trying something like that with my in-person game with the people at my table, my actual in-face group, I should say, and I had one of the players describe kind of like he was with a small unit of knights who were escorting a rebel, and I was telling him, you know what, you describe me, you tell me what your allies and mentor is like, and stuff, and he rolled with it well enough, but I could obviously tell that he was having the same exact struggles, because he's never done that before, and I was thinking, maybe there's a different way I could have implemented that a lot more easily. I guess like easing it in, I suppose, because it's very easy to go into. I wouldn't say it's like the Mother May I sort of thing that Samuel G was talking about, but it's sort of like it's more reliant on the GM being your eyes and ears rather than the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get invested in what the GM is describing to you and this world, and it's like, oh my god, am I breaking it if I change it? Yeah. What's happening in the background?
Yeah, well, I'd like to use the metaphor of the GM as a movie director, and like if you look at different directors, always have their distinct feels, even if they're doing very different stuff, or like they're different kinds of movies, or you'll look at two directors who do the same kind of thing or same genre, and it's completely different. Like two different versions of the same superhero movie will be completely different because the different director did it. So that's what I worry about with narrative control, is just messing with the tone of the game. My games don't really have a tone, so I just tell people to do whatever. My tone is just get as gonzo as possible, as fast as possible, and that is a consistent tone. But
well, what's kind of cool about this setting is it has some details, like especially like the aliens and the cultures, but like there's some tech things in there, but there's a lot of room there. There's a lot of room.
And with us being in, at least until now, we were just in a sort of journeying thing. Like it could very much be set up like Firefly or Star Trek, where we encounter weird stuff, and you didn't know that was part of the setting until it showed up in the episode. Since we aren't like in a city that needs to be where everything that we introduce has to have been there from day one. Yeah. It's where we can encounter weird stuff, deal with a weird thing, and move on, and that weird thing will just become part of the past. It doesn't have to be a recurring part of the setting if we don't want it to.
Yeah, I mean,
like for me, it's when I do actions that I really like. Say, Phil ad-libbed the freezing of the creatures. Like as a player, like I didn't really know if that would actually work or not. So like he got to ad-lib, so he said it worked on him. But I don't know if that was some sort of GM thing, you had a plan that you wanted them to do something different. That would have been a tough thing for me to ad-lib, I guess.
With that, my son was screaming his little head off, and I really couldn't talk. So it's like, you know what?
Well,
just take care of it.
I was using that as an example. Just like that's like something that I would have trouble doing, like large encompassing action, I guess. Where something small, like coming up with some tech news that I don't even know if it's part of the Gungeon thing or not. I don't know. Like instead of the knockout gas to be for intruders, to make it so that when they ram people, it kills the crew before, or puts them to sleep, or things like that. I don't mind changing that. I don't really know the history of the Gungeon, but
I really like that. I thought that was really cool when that happened.
Yeah, it was.
Yes, and it was a convenient way of putting me down before I started like killing everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
great idea.
I like how that all went together. We were trying to like intimidate the guys, and then you just go kill Bill on them. I was like, oh jeez.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I had justification of I've already established that I have a hatred of Earthers. I have a extreme loyalty to fellow Ganjin, and they've been torturing them. So, like, all of my buttons were just going, and I have the Vice of Wrath, so I know what I already have a short temper.
Yeah.
So, like,
So get a willpower point back.
Exactly. That's what I liked about that moment. It was just so, gosh, what's the word for it? It was very spontaneous. That's why I liked it. It was it was that moment where a lot of different, well, actually it makes sense for this crew to be like that because, they're still fresh. And we got a bunch of ideologies going about, and, I really liked it.
The funny thing is I was just talking to Tim the other day about how much of a rigid military man I am, and then I go and do this. Like, yeah, there goes your rigid military discipline. Just slaughter everything.
Well, there can be exceptions, you know?
Yeah.
Weapon discipline, that's what you show. That's like.
Yeah, I showed that I was basically like super samurai of doom, like I said. So.
Well, I mean, you also have like the honor code too. Like these Earthers, how dare they, dishonor your fellow kinsmen like this?
Yes, that was where my thing. Like, I have the history that they blew up my captain and my other ship, so that's where my hatred, my sort of just racism against Earthers comes from. Then Jylan showed up, and I hate him now. And now, like, that was where the honor thing. Like, I probably have a stronger connection to fellow Ganjin than you do to fellow Mavericks that you've never met, just because of the cultural nature of Ganjin, that's like that honor thing and that we're all part of one culture and everything. Like, and with me being in the military and them being in the military, like there were lots of kinship buttons being pushed, so it almost did feel like they were torturing my family.
You know what's great about Jylan is that the original person is still out there.
Yeah, they were all clones.
Because I sort of dropped hints, so I don't think you guys picked up on it. That
yeah, I knew they were all clones. So
yeah.
Copy? Am I a copy? Am I real?
Well, I mean, I thought it was just this weird amalgam of all sorts of different genes. So I wondered whether the original Jylan would really be anything like the final product.
Maybe we'll find out.
It'll just be a brain in the jar. And then he should have a Dalek voice, and he'll say, "We will exterminate you."
Yes.
You know what I really like too is Bryce is like, we can see how powerful he is. Like for any tech system, he pretty much just took over the ship in like 5 seconds.
And I love the way that like, he's doing the brain hacking stuff, so we as players can see that and get really scared. But the characters don't get to see it, so we don't have a reason to have a big fight over it.
Oh man, Dale was about to have a conversation with you about that. He was like, after all this, is like, hey, we're gonna have to talk about this brain hacking business.
Except,
well, yeah, but
say that he's done brain hacking, so we still don't know that.
Exactly.
I mean, he talked to you a little about I can do this, or I can sense your thoughts, but you don't know the extent of his ability to do that.
Well, I mean, like, I was, like, the way Theo sees it, because he's got implants in the back of his head that allows him to connect the data ports and stuff. He would know that there are a lot of stories out there that are quite confirmed of people getting brain hacked and like their bodies just going completely numb, and then people just like stealing data fragments or just controlling bodies in general. So that's something that he's kind of fearful of to a certain degree. Plus, he doesn't want anyone in his head. So like when he doesn't really associate that with power yet. He's kind of assuming this is like a part of his technical prowess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if we ever end up, I mean, who knows where we are now, but if we were to ever end up back to that Quay ship, I was thinking that Bryce would have to have kind of a heart-to-heart with Theo to explain why he knows, Yeah,
we'll see what happens next time. I have a feeling that you guys will go back, so.
Yeah, we'll get back to our ship at least, because that's kind of the whole point of this game.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's pretty much going to happen. I thought this idea that, you guys break free for a little bit, and then she get back control of you guys, and you guys go back. I was even kicking around the idea of just, you guys forgetting that memory, but then every once in a while you just get like a reminder, like a little flashback, like you were saying.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want us to forget the entire game up to this point, obviously, because that would just be insane, but
no.
we can forget that part. That's fine.
You know what works well? It's like they're or whoever they are, the coach guys, these bad guys, they're scanning us probably to find out what we do or how strong we are or how effective we are. Like in my case, they saw my strength and my electricity right from the beginning because I had already conquered that through anger. But someone like the captain or Theo, who never did the cold or fire, hardly ever use their powers at all of a sudden they kick in. Then, you could easily see them breaking free from that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're laying there, all of a sudden now you're, dropping the temperature of the room 50 degrees, setting everything on fire. And that's not, they would know that would happen,
And they didn't even know we were awake, I think. And then they thought we were asleep because they saw us dealing with the Quay thing. And then they were like, wait, suddenly we're cold and the room is on fire. What the hell?
And they're pulling themselves off the spikes. This is not good.
Yes, because since they just saw me go ape shit on the scientist, they're probably realizing him being mad is not good.
They're probably saying to each other, "This species is quite violent. Observe this one as he tries to cut down his own."
Enact safety protocols. Backups. Put them down.
If they really view us as savages, they're probably scared to death of us now because they've seen you rip people's heads off, or Long rip people's heads off, and me just go insane and cut people apart.
So, yeah, it'll be really interesting to see Kazuko negotiate that treaty.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
Maybe they'll wake you guys up just for that. All right, guys, I gotta do some cleaning and stuff. And, yeah, it looks like the recording failed. That sucks. I think Skype.
That is sad. It was a great session.
I think Skype might have done something, because it's a third-party software, and sometimes when they update things, things get screwy.
It was a little while with it was like I'm not gonna say it was slight interference, I guess. I remember slight lag.
Oh yeah, I did
Coming
too.
from everyone, and I didn't want to bring it up because we're in the middle of telling something. It was cool, so I was like, all right, we'll just wait.
I think that might have been when I was uploading the ship details, but I
maybe that too. Yeah, maybe.
I was kind of kicking myself that I didn't do that before.
Where did you get those ship details? I kept looking for images for Gonjin stuff, and I dropped nothing on the images. In fact, I like today I was just typing in Gonjin during the session, and it brought up Gungan ships from Star Wars. I was like, no, no.
Yeah, dude, yeah, that's
slightly different.
I found this on I think I actually linked it in the Facebook group a little while ago. I don't know if I still have the bookmark for that or not. It's in my horrible jungle of bookmarks. Those ones that I put in there and never look at again. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But adding up my dice pool with all the innate powers now for sword, I have 20 dice or something insane.
Well, like I said, you have to just make sure you can actually afford all of them. That's all.
Yeah, but with all of them being innate, it'll reduce my pool to practically nothing for active powers. But
oh yeah, Bryce had to pump a lot of XP into Kizzen points just to be able to use any of his active powers.
Yeah, you can buy them at 1-for-1 ratio. So if you want to buy extra Kizzen points, you can do that.
Yeah, I definitely want to be able to make all of this stuff innate because cold is cool, but I like being a samurai of doom more.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where the point. That's really the point of the points is that you guys have to figure out what you want to do, what you can do.
Yeah. And I like that they're with innate stuff that I don't have to worry about bookkeeping how many I've used or whatever. I want some on hand so that I can do something like this and pull out the cold powers when I need to, but I don't see myself using them very often because annoying bookkeeping. I'd rather just be good at cutting things.
Well, you don't have to, as long as you keep track of, how many points you're using for the innate ones and how many you have left. That's really all that you really guys need to do.
Oh, there's a question. If we're just waking up from this experimentation, do we have our willpower and Kizzen back?
I would think so. But like I said, this is sort of like when there's I don't know. I guess this is sort of like a behind the scenes kind of thing for you guys, and I think the game will go back to where it was. But
interesting. So we don't know when this happened.
We'll see. We can talk about that next time. But yeah, I think we're going to keep going with the course of the game, and I think what I'm going to do is just have them erase this memory from you, at least for the time being. So you're gonna have a weird time lapse where you're back in that original timeline, but you can't remember all the details. You have a little bit of a fugue state.
Nice.
All right, guys. I'm gonna have to hit the road.
Yeah.
All right. Good game, everybody. Good game.
Yeah.
Can't wait for next Saturday.
Great.
Thanks.
See you guys.
Bye.